Hello, welcome to Confessions of a Frustrated Game Master. I am Robert, the narrator, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Confessions. Well, this episode of Confessions, I'm going to talk about chasing the dragon, and I hope this is the correct term. I know there is an old term. Um, for chasing the dragon and an old meaning, but it's really old and antiquated. And I'll tell you what I mean by chasing the dragon. So, as you probably know, if you've watched my channel at all, I have been in the hobby for 30 plus years. And for my entire time in the hobby, I've always been the kind of guy who was looking for new experiences. I didn't just want to play the same genre over and over again. I didn't want to play the same system over and over and over again. And earlier in the hobby for me, when I was playing a whole lot, one or two games a week, I did, I'm guilty. I was the guy who, after 4 or 6 weeks of playing one system, wanted to switch over to another system. I would even bring games, the rule book for games that I was interested in, and would bring them to the game that we're currently playing, and just casually sit the new game on the table and wait for someone to ask me what this is to try to encourage people to start talking about it, so maybe I can convince them to have us switch over even though we're still playing the other game. So guilty as charged. I was that guy, but I was always interested in a new experience, and probably one of the reasons, or the biggest reason that I started this channel, is because almost no one else in the local group that I'm in is that type of person. Almost to a person, everyone in our group are not really into the idea of being up for anything. There are particular genres that our particular group really love to play and really love to run. So they definitely are not into the idea of new experiences for new experience sake. So I'll definitely get to what I mean by chasing the dragon, but one other little thing that I wanted to talk about. Now, I am in the process of exploring how to put together a great Kickstarter, because I want to kickstart my high fantasy tabletop role playing game, Peace the RPG. You can check out the links in the description if you want to check out the free basic rule book that is out there right now. But during this process of attempting to prep for my Kickstarter for my game, obviously I've been looking at other games and other Kickstarters to get some ideas and see what best practices are. And something that I have come across is that there are a ton of games out there, obviously, that are using existing systems. And something that I have found out, or maybe I have just been reminded of, is the fact that I still, after 30 plus years in the hobby, am still looking for new experiences. Because what will happen is, during this investigation, I guess, or research for my Kickstarter, and just the fact that I'm always looking to keep up with what's going on in the hobby, I will come across these gorgeously realized games with really interesting settings and themes. And then I'll dig a little deeper and I'll find out that the system that this very interesting game is based on is a system that already exists. And I immediately become disinterested in the project. And that is really because after all these years, I am still chasing the dragon, and I'll finally get to what I mean by that. Now, the term, I've heard other folks use this term, and essentially, when it comes to our hobby, the term chasing the dragon means trying to recapture the wonder, excitement, and amazement that you had when you first got into the hobby and everything was brand new. Um, I'll have to let you know, and this is going to be a little disappointing and probably a little sad for a lot of people. If you haven't been in the hobby for a really long time, but you really love the hobby, I'm going to let you know that if you stay in the hobby long enough, you will never be able to repeat that feeling of wonder and excitement and discovery that you had when you first started role playing. And I think the fact that when you've been in the hobby as long as a lot of us have, you're chasing the dragon and you're trying to find that wonder again. And for me, a lot of that wonder or chasing the feeling that I had when I first started in the hobby, I probably put a lot of that on having new experiences, finding new systems, and not just continuing to play systems that I've already played before. Now, these days in the hobby, I don't want to jump from system to system to system every 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, with the amount of time I get to play, it would take me half a year to get up to 4 or 6 sessions. So definitely, I'm not trying to jump from system to system because I barely have an opportunity to play. But when I do play, I want a new experience. I want to try to experience something that I've never experienced before because I've always been that type of person. But now, being in the hobby for so long, I really am that type of person because I guess the only way I can really even approach that sense of excitement and discovery and wonder that I once had in the hobby is by experiencing a new setting and a new system. So over the last couple of weeks, I really have noticed that I can really be disinterested in a game that is gorgeous and interesting and seems new when I find out that the system is a system that I have played before. And of course, there are some systems out there that are more prevalent than others. I don't want to mention any names, but there are some systems that I come across more than others. And yeah, it really, really kind of suppresses my excitement, I'll say, when I come across the same systems over and over again on Kickstarter. So how about you? How long have you been in the hobby? Have you started that process of trying to chase the dragon, regain the excitement that you've had in the hobby for oh so many years? And let me know whether or not playing the same systems that you played before hinders or help your search if you are in search of the dragon still in the hobby. Let me know. And as I said before, in the description below, I have the link to the PDF of my tabletop high fantasy role-playing game, TTRPG, that I will be kickstarting hopefully before the end of the year. And check that out, and maybe that will help you capture the dragon again. Thanks a lot. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching this video. See you later.